Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Monday, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're out here in front of Wat Chang Man. And I figured we'd take a walk through here and then come out and hit the streets a little bit and just kind of mosey around a little bit. It's a beautiful day. We had a little bit of rain last night, believe it or not. About 4 o'clock in the morning, it rained about 2 or 3 times and just kind of cleared the air out. But you know, we're getting a little bit of smoke now. It's starting to get smoky, but it's not as bad as what I normally remember this time of year. Could change any day. You know, you just never know. But other than that, it's a beautiful day. I'm feeling good. I appreciate everybody coming into the channel. I appreciate all the comments. Appreciate the super thanks and the coffee that everybody's bought. It really makes me feel good. I'd like to, you know, get the channel growing. My goal, I think, is to get to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We'll see if that ever happens, but I'm happy the way it is. But today I'm going to talk a little bit more about, I did a video a while back about Steve and Evelyn Davis. It's a case of in the Philippines where she murdered her husband, and by the time I finished doing the video, I had more questions than answers. So I went out and I bought the book, and I've read the book, and I'm going to kind of go over some of the things in the book that the documentary didn't cover. The documentary was actually started midway through the process, so it missed a lot of stuff, and it doesn't go into a lot of detail, whereas the book that the mother wrote or co-wrote gets into a lot of detail, and a lot of questions that I had were answered in the book, and I'll try to go over them through this walk. Because it's really interesting. You just don't understand the philosophy of some of the laws in the Asian countries, and this is definitely one of them. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I'll turn the camera around. We'll walk through here as I tell the story, and I'm going to bring up another story too that just happened not too long ago. There was a picture in the on Facebook the other day of two female tourists that decided they were going to come here and sunbathe out, well, it looks like probably right there in that grass right there. And somebody took a picture of them and put it on the internet, and everybody just kind of went wild. You know, it's just totally improper. Yeah, it was right here, just kind of laid out in the grass like sunbathing. Crazy stuff. But this is a really pretty temple. I enjoy walking through it. I've been through it a bunch of times and done a lot of videos here, but it's always fun. I'll try to find a picture, I'll put it up, but definitely not the place you want to go out and sunbathe in front of a temple. But anyway, back to the story. This mother, I mean, she was really courageous. She gets the call, and if you all, you know, before you watch this video, if you haven't seen the other video, go back and I'll leave a link up here where you can go back and watch it, so you know what I'm talking about. Because I'm not going to get into the details of what actually happened, you know, bit by bit. But I'll go over some of the questions that I had that were answered. But she gets the call from his friend, and basically he just says that Stephen's dead. And then the phone gets all scratchy and they lose connection. And she never got a call from the consulate, or never got any calls from the British embassy or anything. So she kind of waits, and he is able to get to a different telephone, and he calls her back, and he basically explains to her that Stephen's been murdered, and tells her that, you know, 3 guys busted into their apartment and shot him, and he's dead. So she, you know, tells him, she goes, well, I'll be 2 days, I'll be there. And her and her husband, they jump on a plane and head towards the Philippines. Now, where the crime actually took place was in a town called Makita, which is about, it's about a 3-hour drive south of Angeles. Now, they had always gone to Angela's when they went there to visit Stephen. So she kind of knew her way around, and she had made plans with Martin. Martin was the friend that was reporting it. He was assaulted and robbed during the incident. She made plans to meet him, and when she gets there, he's there, and they talk, and he basically tells her that 3 guys came in. They had guns, and one of them was hiding a pillow in front of his face. And they took his keys, took his wallet, and one of the guys said, "That's not him, that's not him." And they went into the next room, and the next thing you know, he hears 2 shots. So he, after they leave, he goes in and he finds Stephen. And he also tells her that Stephen and Evelyn had been having problems. She kind of figured it out that they were having problems, but she really didn't know the exact state of their relationship. But Martin told her, should be careful, because they've killed him, and no telling what else they're going to try to do. And she, the mother, was she was the sole beneficiary of everything that he had. And before she left the UK to come to the Philippines, she froze all of his bank accounts. She could do it because she was on everything that he had. She was on his bank accounts. She was part owner of the business because she had loaned him money to get the business started. And apparently, Evelyn found this out. She was pretty upset about it because she thought she was going to get everything that he had. But what she didn't understand was he was smart enough to let Mama control it. He knew that his mother would make sure that his kids were provided for, because it turned out that Evelyn was she had just gone off the deep end, and he sensed this. He figured it out, and that's part of the reason why they split up. But the book makes no mention of his being a playboy or anything like that. And I'm sure that he was to a certain extent, but being that the mother wrote the book, I don't think you're going to read any of that in there. And from what I saw and what I read in the documentary, it was all after they had broken up. Short of that, he had bought the parents a generator for their place, on the island. He had paid for well water and just had really taken care of her parents real well, and her family that lived on a small island. And that's the other thing that comes into play in here that the documentary doesn't take into consideration. She had absolutely no education whatsoever. She couldn't read or write. She had left the island at the age of 12 and went to work in the bar. Now, everybody says, well, the mother, should have condoned her son for marrying a 14-year-old. Well, I don't think the mother knew. From every indication, after she got there to the Philippines, after she met with Martin, she made arrangements to meet Evelyn. Evelyn still hadn't called her. She knew Evelyn had her phone number, but Evelyn never bothered calling her. But when she got to the Philippines, she touched base with Evelyn, and they met at the funeral home because she wanted Stephen cremated, and she wanted to take the ashes back to the UK. And Evelyn, in talking to Evelyn at the funeral home, she really wasn't keen to that. And then Mom said, well, if you'll do that, I'll pay for the funeral. And then she said, okay, she'd let her have the ashes to go back to the UK. And But she was not educated. He had tried to get her into schools, but she wouldn't go. Hey, little buddy. And she was basically blowing all the money. He would give her £1,000 a month to run the house on, and he found out that the rent wasn't being paid. The landlord was getting ready to kick her out, and it got worse than that. So the mother went to the landlord while she was there, because she wants her grandkids taken care of, and at that point she really doesn't suspect anything. There's no evidence that Evelyn had anything to do with it, so she's kind of keeping an open mind. Well, she goes to the landlord, and the landlord said that while Stephen was away, she'd have these wild parties, she'd have men over there, and that all of her tenants were complaining, and it was just, she wasn't gonna put up with it anymore. Even if she paid the rent up, she was still gonna evict her. And that's when the things started going off in her mind. And then she remembers back when she met with Evelyn. Evelyn knew that Martin had talked to her, and Evelyn's biggest concern was, what did Martin have to say? What did he see? And Evelyn makes the statement. She goes, they were in that room for 20 minutes. Surely he saw something. Well, she had no way of knowing that, and the mother knew that, because the police didn't say anything about it. Nobody mentioned a time frame, and even Martin never mentioned anything about them being in the room for whatever length of time. So that really flew, threw some red flags up to her. So from there, she goes to the police, and the mother's talking to the police, and she's really getting no assistance from them whatsoever. They basically are telling them that there's nothing they can do, that nobody's filed a complaint. Well, the mother ends up going to an attorney, and she files a complaint, and the attorney files it with the police department. Well, now they're obligated to do something on it, and it turns out they had not even talked to Evelyn yet. They had never even questioned her or anything other than just notification. So that was the big thing there, and there was just no investigation going on. So she, in talking with the attorney advises her that it's not safe to even be in the Philippines. Her life could be in jeopardy as well. And even when she goes to the British Embassy, we'll walk down this way, get through here. When she goes and explains to the British Embassy basically tells her that there's really not a lot she can do, or they can do to help her, that she's pretty much on her own. And they again warn her, her life too could be in danger, especially with her being the executor. Nope, this dead ends in here, so I'm going to go back out and go left. The executor of his estate, and basically the person that's going to get everything. That gives a real good motive to knock her off, and her being in the Philippines, anything could happen. So the hotel actually posted guards at their door, so they kind of felt safe, and they really didn't go out that much after that. But one night they get a knock at the door, and it's real late at night. And it turns out to be 3 police officers from the district that the crime occurred in, and she's explaining to them what's going on and wants them to try to interview Evelyn. Well, their basic response was, and this is crazy, I've never heard this before, and I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe somebody from the Philippines that lives there that knows a little bit of the law can tell me, but they say that if they pull somebody, I'm gonna stop here. Well, he stopped banging. There's a metal shop in here. Pretty neat. We'll go through this temple here and walk out to the other side. But basically what they told her was if they pull somebody in for questioning and they don't have enough to charge them, they are basically, that's the last time they can talk to them. Now that to me sounds kind of crazy. I mean, we could talk to anybody and talk to them as many times until they lawyered up, and then we couldn't talk to them anymore. I had never heard that, but that's what she said they told her. So they were real skeptical about pulling anybody in and talking to them. So her main concern now was the kids. She was able to get Evelyn to sign documents so she could get passports for both the kids, because she told Evelyn that she wanted to take them on holiday. Well, the one girl, I think she's 4, and the other boy was a lot younger, and apparently she kept stalling her on the younger boy. She didn't want her to take him, but she was able to get the girl, and she was able to get a passport, and then she went to the British Embassy, and they issued a visa for the girl. So her plan was to just, after she got the ashes, she was just going to take the girl and leave the country. And pretty much that's what she did. And she had a little bit of problems getting out through immigration, but they let her take the child. Now Evelyn still thinks she's in the country, and she doesn't. She had some appointments to turn the kid over to her, but Evelyn never showed up, or Evelyn would call and say, I'm busy, or something like that. So she just goes ahead and gets the one kid and gets out of the country. And that was the on the recommendation of the British Embassy, was to get out of the country. And it turns out that the reason that the other kid wasn't available was she had sent the other kid out to the island where her parents lived, and he was staying there. Well, when she gets back to the UK, she ends up hiring a private investigator, and they start doing surveillance on Evelyn. Well, they find out that, it's just guys leaving her apartment left and right, and it's just almost like a party house. And they identify 2 guys, and both of them were security guards, and they followed them and back to where they worked, and they saw them meeting with Evelyn a couple times, and so they let the mother know. Well, the mother calls the investigator and with the police department, and they really won't do anything. So she gets a hold of her lawyer and tells her lawyer. So the lawyer is pretty much acting on her behalf. He goes to the police station and tells them, this is what's going on, and they find that there's an aunt living on the island that's in real bad shape, and she's out of money. And the mother talks to her, and the aunt agrees to talk, and she tells about the situation with Evelyn, and the situation about the kid. Apparently the kid that's still in custody of the parents is, you know, in pretty bad shape as far as health-wise. So she's trying to figure out a way to get the kid out. So she ends up with two other people that she makes friends with that she knew from being over there, that had connections to the island. And they kind of worked with her, and through money changing hands, and she actually paid for these two people to come to the UK. She was able to get the second kid back, and the couple that helped her put her in touch with the aunt that knew quite a bit. And pretty much what it boiled down to was the family dimed Evelyn out pretty bad. It turned out that she had, the mother was paying astronomical amounts of money for all this information. She was paying the private investigator, she was paying the family for information, and through it all she got enough to get these two guys picked up. And the day that they picked him up, they took him to the police station, and Martin, his friend, his office was right across from the police station. And when they bring the guys in, he recognizes the guy that came in that wasn't holding the pillow out over his face, and he goes running out. She says, "That's him. That's him. That's the one that came in and robbed me and shot Stephen." And so they went ahead. They charged that guy. As far as I remember, they had to let the other guy go, which was her boyfriend, was a guy by the name of Alexander, or yeah, I believe it. No, Arnold, I'm sorry, Arnold was his name. And both of these guys, this is where it gets kind of funny, both of these guys are ex-police officers. They had worked in the drug squad, which back in the day was notorious for knocking people off. And there were some indications that the police in Makita were a little bit scared of these two guys, and that's why they were dragging their feet. But that's yet to be seen. Now down there is Dreamer CNX, great pizza. And then you got Pizza by Hand right there, good pizza there too. I think we'll walk up this way. But through all this, they still have not interviewed Evelyn. She has tried and tried and tried. Her lawyer has tried and tried and tried to get them to go out and get her. Well, by this time, she's back out on the island, and it's about a 1,000-kilometer trip out to the island. That, you know, they have to rent a boat and stuff, and the mother's willing to pay for all this. She doesn't care, but they still won't go out and interview her. It's just frustrating the hell out of her, which I don't blame her. You know, I mean, they pretty much got the evidence, and the other guy, he's kind of gone into hiding, and everybody is getting death threats. Martin's getting them. The two people that helped her, get the kids back are getting death threats, and it's just getting crazy. Well, the aunt, the old aunt, has a daughter, and the daughter, she had done some babysitting for Evelyn, and she knew a lot more than what she was saying. And after dishing out some money to the aunt, she relays that the third person that was in the room was actually the aunt's son-in-law. And he was there, he knew about it, he pretty much was a participant. The family by this time are just furious with Evelyn. The father is really just had it with her. But the thing about it is they all knew that what she was going to do. She had talked about it. She had told him, you know, that she was fed up with Stephen and she wanted to get his money. And she had even called into a talk show where they had a lawyer that was, you know, answering questions. And she was asking how she could get her money that was entitled to her from her husband. And the mother said she didn't know exactly what the response was, but whatever it is, she didn't tell the lawyer that everything was in the mother's name anyway, and there wasn't anything that could be done. But the mother reaches out to the family again, and through the aunt and through another third party to reach the brother-in-law that was involved to come forward. And they make contact, and basically what he's wanting her to number one, take care of his family, his family, and and supply him with a lawyer. Well, as unethical as that is, unethical as it seems, she did it. And he went in and gave a full statement about what happened. And he said that he was brought in because he knew what Stephen looked like, and the other two guys had no clue. And he said that they all rode out together, and Evelyn stayed in the car. And she had furnished them with keys to get into the apartment. And that's how she knew that they were in there for 20 minutes, because she was sitting out in the car and waiting for them. And he gives a full statement. Hello, you're on YouTube.
What?
You're on YouTube. Where are you?
Really?
Yeah, where are you?
What is your channel?
Unseen Thailand, Chiang Mai. Where are you from?
Taiwan.
Taiwan, okay.
You know Taiwan?
Yeah, I know Taiwan, yeah. How long are you here for?
Hmm?
How long? How many days you stay?
3 days? No.
Yeah, 3 days.
3 days. No.
You like it here?
Yeah, sure.
Better than Taiwan? How about the food? How about the food?
Thai food is good,
Yeah, it is really good.
but too heavy.
Too heavy?
Yes, I met.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too.
What?
Unseen Thailand.
Unseen?
Yeah,
How do you spell?
UN
Okay, UN.
SEEN
S.
EEN Thailand.
You are long stay here?
Yeah, in Chiang Mai.
Or in Chiang Mai?
Yeah, that's right there. There you go. Yep, that's me.
Okay.
You'll be on later on.
Okay, see you.
Okay, take care. That's funny. In Taiwan, food's too heavy here. Huh, interesting. Now where was I? Oh gosh. Pull that back up. Pull my brain back up. But anyway, he makes a statement. He gives the statement to the police, and they still have not talked to Evelyn. They're very reluctant to go out there and get her. And the mother's having a fit. The attorney's going crazy. And basically, the attorney is acting as the prosecutor. I don't know if that's common out there or what, but he was acting as the prosecutor in the case. I'm sure they assigned somebody to it, but anyway, they finally got a judge to listen to it, and they go pick her up. And Evelyn, or the mother, wants to go back to the Philippines, but she's afraid that Evelyn has filed a kidnapping warrant on her. And she's afraid she's going to get arrested when she goes back. So she's kind of reluctant to do that. Hello. But in the meantime, Evelyn is finally arrested. They put her in custody. There's no bond. The other guy, they end up getting him too, so there's all three of them. The three of them, the guy that turned the brother-in-law, he got scot-free. He got to walk. I don't necessarily agree with that, but you know, I've seen worse things happen. And the other guys, I think they got 30 years or something like that, or may have got longer. But she got 40, and she's still serving time. But the thing about it was, you know, everybody kind of criticized the mother about not chastising her son for marrying a 14-year-old. I don't think the mother knew, because when she went to Stephen's office and she got a bunch of documents out. She knew where all the files were. Evelyn had taken some of the documents of the business and had given them to her lawyer. She couldn't do anything with them, but she had taken them. But the mother found his wedding ring in the drawer, which is something that she said was very unusual because he never took it off. He was proud of being married to her. And then he found a pawn receipt where she had pawned her wedding ring about 3 or 4 months prior to, about the same time that Stephen had moved out of the house. But what she also found was the marriage certificate where they got married in China, and a birth certificate. And it was the same last name, but a different first name for Evelyn. And she thought it was kind of strange. She goes, well, you know, maybe they just used a different thing. And the birth certificate showed an age of 4 years older than Evelyn actually was. And it turns out that, and this was one of my questions, was how did she get out of the country? Well, this is how she got out of the country, and this is how she got married. She used her sister's birth certificate, which would have made her 4 years older than what she actually was, so it would have made her 18 years old. And the mother, to the best of my knowledge, from everything that I read throughout the whole book, she had no idea that the girl was 14 years old when he married her. Now, the other thing too is when the mother was told about you know, the relationship, she was basically told that you know, that she worked in a bar. Well, the mother's thinking, you know, a bar like back in the UK. She's pulling draft beers, and she didn't understand that it wasn't. She wasn't pulling beers, she was pulling something else. And she later figured that out after she came to stay with him a few times. And you know, the funny thing is the writing on the wall was there. While the mother was, and this goes back before they started having problems, the mother was staying at the house. And oh, and by the way, now Evelyn is also pregnant. When she was talking to the mother, she told the mother that she was pregnant. Now, whether it was Stephen's child, probably not. Mother thought that, you know, they had already split up by then, so it was probably somebody else's. But during the marriage, the mother was staying with them. And Stephen was in Makita working, and Evelyn and the mother and the kids were in the house that he had rented. And Evelyn is in the bedroom real sick. And the mother goes in and looks at her and starts talking about, I guess we'll go left here. There's a place called T1 Mini. A lot of people go there. I had a friend that enjoyed going there. But anyway, the mother goes in and checks on her. And this is after her first 2 kids were born. And she tells the mother, she goes, I'm pregnant. And she goes, well, does Stephen know? And she goes, no, he doesn't know. He can't know. And I don't want this baby. I can't have this baby. And, you know, I don't want it. And, you know, the mother's saying, well, you know, it's a child. And he goes, no. I've taken drugs to kill baby. And, you know, it just got crazy. Well, anyway, she goes in the shower, and next thing you know, the mother hears her screaming in there. She goes in, and the fetus is laying on the floor, and blood everywhere. And she picks up the fetus and goes out in the yard, digs a hole up with her foot, and buries the fetus in the front yard. And then goes back and lays on the bed. There's blood everywhere. And finally, the mother gets her to the hospital, and they take care of her and all that. And she calls Stephen. Stephen comes down, and he says, well, I had no idea she was pregnant. And but that should have been the first sign that something was wrong. You know, I mean, you know, it just that's bad. You know, so if I saw somebody do something like that, it would definitely make me have some second thoughts. But you know, her actions and stuff during the marriage should have told him that he was in for a little bit more than what he expected. He had made statements to his mother that you know, he was going to save her and get her out of that mess. And you know, I don't think he understood what he was getting himself into. She had actually made statements to the mother that the island that she came from, usually the first person that the girl has sex with is with her father at 11 years old. Now, whether that actually happened or not, who knows? I don't know. The book doesn't say that, but the book had a lot of interesting things in it that I didn't realize, and you don't get from the documentary, because, like I said, the documentary was done afterwards with afterthought, and you know, it just wasn't there. But the book has a lot in it. Now, if y'all have any specific questions, just ask me, and I'll try to answer them from what I read in the book. It's a really interesting book. You know, if you're interested in this kind of a case or something, really recommend you get the book and read it, because it goes into depth of what actually happened. And she estimated that she spent about $30,000, and a lot of that was paid to the police. It was paid to people giving information. It was paid to support the family. And the 2 people that brought the child over, they ended up applying for asylum and didn't have to go back. That was a pretty interesting thing too. That's kind of neat. But stuff like that happens. Now, I don't know if I've ever walked this little alley or not. I'm not sure where that would take me. All kinds of stuff for sale back here. But yeah, if you got any questions, just let me know, and I'll go back through the book, and I read all the comments and stuff, and I'll answer them in the comments section from what I know from the book. Like I said, it was an excellent book. There's some fluff in it that it doesn't need to be there, but it was something that kept my interest for a while. Definitely worth reading. But other than that, about the same old, same old. I feel my strength coming back, little by little every day. I've got to go see the doctor tonight, and I'm hoping they cut my medication back a little bit more. I'm down to 5 milligrams of prednisone and 200 milligrams of cyclosporine every day. And I think it's the cyclosporine that makes me not feel good. So I'm hoping he'll cut some of that out. Other than that, I feel pretty good. These little areas here where they're working on the road is just really dangerous. They had a car come through one night and took out about 4 people, killed 1 person. That's one of the dangerous things that they've done with this, keeping the bar. Oh, I'm holding this guy up. Keeping the bars open till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Got a lot of drunks out at night. It's just not safe. And they've had trucks fall in these holes and all kinds of stuff. Picked a bad time of year to do that. And we've got to make it back down to the temple. Well, that's it for now, folks. I appreciate y'all stopping in. I hope I didn't bore y'all to death and mumble and stumble and all that. I try to keep on track there, but people have complained that I get off the subject a lot, which I do, but I enjoy showing Chiang Mai as well, and it kind of gives a break and let y'all see what's going on around here. I mean, a lot of people come to the channel just to listen to the stories, and some people come because they like to see Chiang Mai. So I try to make it an even thing, and plus, I enjoy doing it. But anyway, y'all have a good week, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.